heading into training camp, with just the continuity of that core coming back. So if you can just talk about the value of that and how has it looked, and then the new pieces fitting in.
I just think it's unlimited value. Just those guys being familiar with one another, and just the way their minds are working, like really trying to really hammer down on the information, make sure the new guys are brought up to speed on what it is that we do on both sides of the ball. And just I love it. It's because the chatter, the communication, them being vocal when they see something, or it's not me having to blow the whistle every other possession or something like that. The teammates are, not berating their new teammates, but just slowing them down and making sure they get it right. And so that's the corporate knowledge that we wanted to build here, and I think it's really unfolding right before our eyes, and it only can get better from here, and it's been great thus far.
LeBron told us that he's not going to play Saturday.
I'm not coaching either. No, I'm
Take that one off. Get to Vegas a little early.
no doubt.
Obviously, I mean, he looks like he's in a good place physically. What is sort of your approach with managing him, especially early in the season, not just in the preseason, but maybe through the first 10, 15 games? Is that kind of the view, or is it because he's close to 100%, you kind of let him go?
No, I mean, it's we collaborate and communicate on what those steps will be. Obviously, we put our heads together with the medical staff, Mike Mencias in particular. We make sure we come up with an effective plan. And the beautiful thing about the way we move forward with that is, one, he's in phenomenal shape. Two, he's probably got more years and experience outside of AD than our entire team combined. In terms of games played and minutes played, and he takes phenomenal care of himself, and so just kind of easing into it, in the fact that our roster makeup is what it is. He doesn't have to start the season with his cape on, so to speak. Like, we're going to work these days and try to get better at something each and every day, and the help that he has around him will allow him to not have to be full throttle in every practice, every preseason game, this, that, and the third. But he's a prideful player, and that's why he is who he is. And he understands what the competition level is going to be like, and he gets his work in for sure. And so that puts us all at rest in terms of the totality of the team and the type of way he's built. It just puts us at ease in terms of how we manage him.
Do you have an ideal minute number or range for him?
Not as of yet. We'll talk about all of that.
Coach, Jackson Hayes brought up Max Christie. He said he's a dog. He's been performing well. How has he been? Also, Jackson, how has he been? And then Cam Reddish, another young guy. Just all the young guys, how have they been?
I mean, he's been great, man. Just the energy. Those guys, again, learning, embracing, trying to execute the information. It's nothing short of beautiful to watch. And, Max had a great summer, and I put the onus on him to not just go out, try to really thrust himself into all of those minutes and be a leader for the team on the court, but also be vocal and really help the coaches out, partner with the coaches, and just get that much more familiar with what it is we want to do on the court as a team once we get our regular guys back. And to show that, you're ready to punch your ticket within the rotation. So, and he's embraced that wholeheartedly. Cam is a guy that I think hadn't had a consistent opportunity, and he has a lot of loving arms around him here. People know what he's capable of. I've seen what he's capable of in a real live NBA playoff game in the Eastern Conference Finals a couple years ago when he was with Atlanta, and he played well then. Had a tough matchup with Chris Middleton and really excelled. And Jackson is just a live wire. He's another guy that went through 3 coaches in 4 years in New Orleans, and so just giving these guys some stability and the opportunity to grow without being pushed and pulled and have a box placed around them. So, and I think all 3 of those guys have responded well.
Darvin, what does Max have to do to show you that he should be in the rotation?
Well, he's already competitive. He has to have a defensive focus and just play the right way offensively, which he does, and really turn up the aggression You know, he's one of our most athletic players. He's done a phenomenal job working on his body this summer too. You know, he's added some muscle. He can shoot it. And just simplify. Shoot the three when you're open. You put it on the floor. Make sure you're going downhill if you're not, you know, going into another action with a teammate. But that's what he can do. Again, stay competitive, defend like there's no tomorrow, and be really keep it simple but yet aggressive offensively.
This
Coach, how
stuff,
have
this
you
stuff
been
is different now, but he is sort of like prototypical shooting guard body,
Mhm.
right? Like 6'5", like all that stuff. But can he guard ones and threes? Do you view
I
him as
believe
being
so.
somebody to be a multi-positional defender?
Absolutely, absolutely. He has that capability, and he's solid. You know, he doesn't play outside of himself. You give him some marching orders, and he's going to execute it, whether it's an individual assignment or where he has to be within the concepts of the team defense. He's a really, really smart kid, high IQ, and really just solid all around.
When have you been
Darvin,
able
in
to?
particular, when he wasn't injured last season, he
Mhm.
was playing MVP caliber basketball at times. How much of your job in terms of helping him was dealing with that disappointment of getting through, you know, having that type of a season and then not being able to play all 82, as he said that was his goal at the beginning, and, you know, what could have been?
Well, it's great to set goals, but again, you know, life is, you just have to be prepared to pivot in whatever positive direction you need to pivot in, because we all have plans. You ever heard the saying, you want to see God laugh, tell him about your plans? So you got to have plan B through Z in life, and particularly in basketball. So I love the fact that he wants to be available for us for the duration of the season as well as the postseason, but things tend to happen beyond our control. So we just, again, tell him, you know, he gets disappointed because times he hasn't been able to be there for his teammates, really brings him down. He's a loving, caring professional, a leader, a guy that wants to spearhead what it is that we do in the highest manner. And, you know, for him to have a hiccup in a row here or there, just try to talk him through it and tell him to focus on what's in front of him, whether if it's a rehab or if it's, you know, working his way back into the lineup, or is just sustaining what the type of top tier performance that, you know, we saw him have last year. And so we expect the same thing, and the fact that, again, he wants to be there each and every game for the duration of the season, that's a great goal to have. But also while knowing if things should go another way, we have plans for that too.
With new guys that you said, like you said earlier about just having a new nucleus, a new bunch of players. Do you know when the time is for you to be a coach and then time for you to be the teacher, as far as making sure they get acclimated to what you want them to execute?
Well, I'm all that in one all the time, and I think another thing you add to it is the spirit and the soul of the game. Coaching them up, teaching, giving them that encouragement and that much needed spiritual boost. I try to do all three of those things simultaneously. And you know, I always look at the glass half full, so I don't get too down on them. Repetitive mistakes, I may pull them to the side, watch individual film, or we may focus on a certain topic in our group film session, but I'm constantly making these guys feel wanted, needed, keeping them encouraged, and making sure we extract the best version of each and every individual on our team and the group as a whole. And I think being solution-based really covers a lot of that. You know, it's easy to just continuously point out what the problems are, but I've been a guy, a coach, a human being that's tried to be as solution-based as possible, and so not belabor any negativity, but how can we get a positive viewpoint out of whatever situation we may be going through.
Hey Darvin, when you weigh the roster depth and also winning quality minutes, how deep of a rotation do you envision having with this group?
I don't know, but I'm sure you'll find out soon. But that's a great problem to have, by the way.
Darvin, with the starting group, looking at, we know 4 of the 5, but looking at what those guys bring to the table, what do you feel like you need from that 5th guy in terms of a skill set or just traits that they bring?
Jovan, if I told you, you know exactly who I'm gonna start.
Who are you gonna start?
We'll start with the Webster's dictionary, man, and my geographical map
We can just
based
cut
on
to
the
we can just
Brazil
cut to-
Australia thing. The other
I'm
day.
glad you learned that. We're
But-
moving on.
Well, no, we definitely have in mind who's going to fill that slot, but we'll see. I mean, it's going to be some guys that we managed throughout the preseason game schedule. There'll be some different lineups you'll see, but we definitely know who will start.
How would you describe the ideal identity of this team, and how would you evaluate kind of where you guys are to start the season with where you want it to be?
You just want it to be, a constant learning experience and take it day by day. Again, as I've said all along, we want to make sure we extract something good out of our group and out of the information that we apply to ourselves and try to furthermore go on and execute in the game setting. We want to do that day by day by day. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's just, you just have to constantly, you can't get caught up in the big picture. We all know what our ultimate goal is. It's to win the championship. We know that. But how do we get there? If you constantly talk about the destination, you're going to totally miss the journey. You'll end up skipping steps. So as long as we take things day by day by day, in terms of taking care of our players' bodies, making sure we're doing our proper breakdowns, getting them even more familiar with each other and what it is we want to do on both sides of the ball. And then as a group as a whole, we're pushing the right message to them that they can formulate amongst themselves, like being competitive and defending, constantly giving multiple efforts on the defensive end and sharing and sacrificing on the offensive end. Those are the three main principles that we want to instill in our team, and I think we're off to a really good start.
Doug, what do you think about Dave just not showing up?
Who was that?
Dave just not getting here. What do you think about that?
Man, we threw him a curveball, man. We stopped a little sooner than he probably
Okay.
expected.
All right, I'm
But
just
after
wondering.
two highly spirited competitive days on Tuesday and yesterday, we had what we call a little natural reflex day today, a basketball reflex day. So just no contact, but still yet getting these guys familiar with one another and brought up to speed. And it's been a seamless process because, again, the major part of our core is back and they're coaching on the go as well as the players that's in the thick of it. So don't worry about it, Dave. You're excused.
So what time should Dave get here tomorrow?
Ooh.
Ooh. I don't know what time that
Let
is.
me announce to you guys too, because I announced it to the team since it's a travel day to San Francisco tomorrow. We're going at 10 a.m. So practice is going to, it's 10 a.m. Can't say you wasn't told.
Wait a minute. So we should be here at 10 a.m.? Is that-
No, I'm saying, you calculate about how long we're going to go, which will be about an hour and 15, 20 minutes. That okay with you? Because it's,
That's cool.
you know how our practices go. They're timed, they're nonstop. We get through a lot in that little bit of short time, 80-minute span. So
Dave, I'm 15 dollars.